Hello! Today's lesson on depreciation comes to you from Portugal, which looks like a very pretty place to be. And I hope this lesson goes well today. So we're going to talk about fixed assets today. Okay? So fixed assets are typically big things, very expensive, cars, trucks, buildings, machines, computers, big computers. Things like that last a long time. Our depreciation records the use of the asset over time, actually the expense of it over time, and depreciation is an estimate. And we're going to look at a couple of different ways to track depreciation today. Okay? The first is the straight line method. So the straight line method is actually the cost minus the salvage value. Salvage value is what we think we can get for the asset when we're done using it, divided by the number of years of life. Okay? The rate would be, if say we have a car that's going to last 5 years, our rate would be 100% divided by 5, or 20% a year. All right? That's for a full year, by the way. If we have less than a full year, we have to cut that down. Another method we're going to look at is double declining balance. In double declining balance, we look at the cost minus the accumulated depreciation times double the straight line rate. So if we had our, say, truck worth $10,000 and it's going to last 5 years, 5 into 100% would be 20%. That would be the straight line rate. We double it for double declining depreciation, so we're going to use 40%. Okay, so 40% times 10,000 would be $4,000. Under straight line, that would be 20% times 10 grand would be $2,000. So it's a big difference, right? But under double declining balance, the depreciation is higher in the beginning, but lower as you go longer and longer into an asset's life. Okay, book value is going to be equal to cost minus accumulated depreciation. All right, so let's take a look at a problem, if I can find a problem. Oh, here we go. Let's try exercise 8-9. So in April, Cyclone Backhoe purchases a trencher for $280,000. Machine is expected to last 5 years, have a salvage value of $40,000. Compute the depreciation expense for both 2012 and 2013, assuming the company uses straight line depreciation. Okay, so this is what? Exercise 8, there was 9, right? Our cost on that was $280,000. Okay? And it's going to last 5 years, so we're going to take 100%, divide that by 5. Oops, actually didn't want that to show up there, so let's put a space in front of it. And that's going to equal 20% depreciation per year. Okay, so let's start there. The only other thing we have to remember with this particular problem is we didn't own it the full year. We didn't use it. So whenever you use it, you can depreciate it. So we're going to multiply our 280,000 times 20%. So for a full year, that would be... Oops. Oh, I forgot to take the depreciation off. Hold on. Do we have a salvage value on that one? Let's double check. I don't remember. Oh, it has a salvage value of 40. Uh-oh. So I got to switch this. So this is our cost. Over here, let's put our salvage value. So hopefully we can get 40 grand for it when we sell it. So our basis is going to be the 280 less is 40, so we got 240,000, so that's our depreciable basis. Okay, so the 240 we're going to take times our 20%, Let's see what we got. So it looks as though on a full year we're going to depreciate $48,000 of expense. Okay. But since we just bought this thing on April 1st, so that means we only are going to be using it for 9 out of 12 months, so 3/4 of the year. So I'm going to multiply that 48,000 times 3/4 of a year. Here's 3/4 of the year, first year only, and see what we get. So it looks as though we're going to have $36,000 depreciation that first year. So our journal entry is depreciation expense, 36,000, and accumulated depreciation credit 36,000. Okay? The second year, we're going to have it for a full year. So I think we said we bought this in 2012. Okay. So that's our depreciation the first year. The second year, 2013, we're going to have a full year's worth. So we're going back to that 48,000. So depreciation expense for the second year, 48,000. Accumulated depreciation credit, 48,000. All right. So that's kind of how we do straight line and how we do part of the year. Let's look at the next one, and we'll try declining balance. This is problem 810. All right. And let's go back and find the problem. It says, refer to the same example, Cyclone's backhoe. Compute the depreciation for 2012-2013, assuming the company uses double declining balance. All right. We can do that, because hopefully we're pretty smart, right? So here we don't worry about the salvage value. So we're just going to take the plain cost, and remember we start with cost less accumulated depreciation. So the first year there is no accumulated depreciation yet. So 280,000. That's our cost or our basis times double the straight line rate. So our straight line rate we said was 20%. So we're going to multiply that times 2. So we're going to use 40%. 2 times 20% is 40%. Okay? So 0.4. So we're going to take, what are we going to take? We're going to take 280,000 times 0.4. Looks like 112,000, but we didn't use it for a full year again. So we have to multiply this times 3/4 of a year. So we use 0.75. So then 112,000 times 0.75. Looks like 84,000. So debit depreciation expense. Whoops. 84,000. That's a lot more than we got, right? And credit accumulated depreciation, 84,000. Okay. So sometimes what we do is a little table here, just to keep track, make it a little easier. Here's cost. Here's our expense for the year. Here's our accumulated depreciation. And here's our book value. All right. So for year 1, 2012, I guess, cost was 280. We said our expense is 84, and our accumulated depreciation 84. So our net book value at the end of the year is going to be 280 less accumulated depreciation 84, so 196. That's our net book value. All right. So for year 2, we're going to start with that 196,000. Okay. Then we're going to take 40% of that, because that was the double a straight line rate. Let's see what that is. Looks like 78,400. Our accumulated depreciation is going to be 84 from last year plus 78 from this year, or 162,000. Ah. Let's see what our net book value is. Wow. 150. Okay. It looks like that's going to be our 196 minus our 78. So 117.6. So the journal entry in the second year would be depreciation expense. What did we say? 78.4. And wow. Accumulated depreciation credit 78.4. Okay, that's our example of depreciation.